First, your impressions of this game. It was a very complicated game, irrational in many ways, and also on move 4, you spent quite some time thinking. Your general impressions of this game that was played.
Yeah, it's a very difficult game for me. Move 4, I'm already wondering if this is the right move. I remember once I played this against Adiban in a rapid tournament, but I forgot what to do with the other moves. And he played this, also came a surprise, so I had to think once again. So these 40 minutes just went nowhere, calculate some nonsense variations. And then, yes, I have many options, like A5, also, I don't know, maybe E5. Here, yeah, he played, I think, the best move, G3, to allow attack his D3 pawn and he defending this way. I think this is a critical moment, which I played a horrible move, G6. I missed A4, yeah. I should have played E6, maybe the position not so bad. After G6, my bishop is clearly out of play. And I don't think I have any chance after that.
It seemed like you had some chances. He didn't necessarily play perfectly from this moment on, and it was a dynamic position. Obviously, mistakes in this kind of irrational situation. Do you feel like your final mistake, part of it was due to your initial time issue, or was it the emotion of the moment?
Here I thought I'm fine after knight c6, but I missed knight a3. Very strong idea just to give up this pawn, doubling on b5 and playing on dark squares. My bishop is totally out of place, not on e7. It's a very bad place on h6. I don't know where I can improve. Maybe after knight e1, maybe I can have to play this. But after c5, still very, very difficult.
So you felt under heavy pressure right from here, I mean, the last few moves?
Yes, after knight h3, I sense the difficulty of the game.
We've seen you bounce back before in World Championship matches. After very difficult losses as well, is it possible to reflect on the strength that you got to bounce back then to make a bounce back now?
Yeah, last time also in the 12th round, I made a comeback with white pieces. So tomorrow I will definitely try.
Reporters, I'll give you a chance to ask a few questions now and allow them to go. If you have any questions for the world champion.
Why did you choose to play d4 in the opening, which is can get pretty wild and committal? In the last games, we got the impression that you tried to keep everything in balance.
And maybe I should have played e6, considering what happens in the game. But I thought I know something in d4, but I don't know what the way he played.
Obviously, my question is for the world champion. During that long think, before you played knight f6, were you only looking at knight f6 and trying to remember variations, or what were some other options in your mind that you were considering?
Yeah, here I think if that takes, it's very dangerous because you can develop very quickly. Bishop d3 and then castle, bishop b2, e4 like this. Here, yes, I saw calculate some nonsense.
Thank you.
No more questions? All right, we'll allow the world champion to take some time to compose himself. Thank you very much for answering those questions. We really appreciate the time you spent with us. We'll continue now with Gukesh. Gukesh, you played a very enterprising opening line, to be sure. What was your thought process going into such an imbalanced type position?
Yeah, I mean, I was aware of this game that he played with Adiban in 21 after b5 knight d7, and a3 was a new move, which is almost never played before, I think. I don't know if it's a novelty, but it's like very rare at least. And yeah, it's something that my team had had prepared and showed me last night, and I really liked the idea. So full credit to my team. But what happened after this, I was just horrible by me. I mean, I knew this position was slightly better for me, and I think from here I played like I don't know where I could have improved, but I spent so much time and came up with this stupid plan, which is probably just. I mean,
Sorry, there's just a sound. Whoever that is can turn off their phones, please. Thank you.
I thought I was in trouble here already, which is probably right. But I was just trying to make some moves to not lose on the spot, and yeah, I think after H5 I spotted this B6 idea, and I was kind of I thought when I played B6, at least I'm like getting out of the worst right now. But until I played Knight C2, I didn't realize I actually had some chances to take over the game. And after this went quite quickly. But probably we both were had less time than the number of moves we had to make. So it was just yeah, I mean, it was like almost like a blitz game. So yeah.
It was an issue. We're watching him think for 38 minutes, and then at some point you think for an hour. When he was thinking all that time, was there any feeling in you like this preparation has really paid off? Or obviously you're not going to be winning from the opening moves, but at least he's deep into it for 38 minutes. What were your thoughts at that moment?
Yeah, I was happy when I saw him think, because I was still quite well prepared in that position, and I thought it's not easy to figure out. So yeah, I was happy to get the time advantage. But then yeah, I mean,
You thought for an hour.
Yeah, that
That's
was
suddenly flipped. What were you thinking then?
yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I was calculating so many different lines. I knew this was slightly better, but I couldn't figure out the exact way.
By the way, just to go back 2 moves, it seems like C5 was better than D3
Ah, really? Oh, okay.
in this position, bringing the bishop to this diagonal as opposed to.
I was considering this actually, but actually I saw some line like bishop f3, queen f3. I was checking this in the morning, and maybe I kind of mixed up. I think knight c6 d3 was what I saw in the morning, and I thought I just played d3 fast, and then after this I realized, okay, his knight is coming directly to c5. I was still under the assumption that I should have something, but probably I already.
Once it got to the time pressure situation, and by the way, he started to play really fast, as you know, and you caught up on the clock, and then you passed him on the clock. And once it got to that time pressure situation, how did you stay composed? As you said, it's now goes from a classical game to more like a rapid blitz type format with the World Championship on the line. Did you even give thought to that, or you were just so locked in the moment that you just had to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think around this point I was already kicking myself really, really badly for, I mean, it was such a normal position, and then suddenly my queen is stuck on f4, and I didn't know what to do. So at that moment, I was just kicking myself. I had some problems to get myself back on the game, but then I was just trying to make one move at a time and not lose on the spot. And this a4 was, I think, a very, very important resource, because at first I just had no idea what to do in this position. And then I saw a4. I was like, okay, at least I can get bishop a3, bishop c5, and just sit tight. And then after h5, I even got this open b file. So here I was already feeling better that I'm out of danger. But yeah, it completely turned around unexpectedly.
When he blundered knight c6, queen c6, excuse me, did it come as a shock to you? You saw it on the board. What was your instant feeling when you realized, whoa, this game has changed?
Okay, at that point it was already clear that I was completely. I think knight a7 was his last chance. At least I thought during the game. Take everything, rook b8.
Yep.
And if I go back, he just goes knight c6, knight b4. I thought this was his best try. But once he played rook b8, I thought it's already really tough for him, because
I think e6 was the real mistake for
Really?
him here.
Okay.
Like the
What should he do?
serious move. I think it was knight. Somebody have to help me. I forget what the move is here, but e6 is the mistake. Maybe just rook d8. I think rook d8, and allow the
c5.
knight c5 and the b7 to fall. But e6 is the
Knight
mistake.
c5, knight a7. But if I go rook d8, rook b1.
No, you're definitely fine. I mean, you're doing
Yeah.
well, but I'm pretty sure that the
Okay.
e6 move was the one,
Okay.
the culprit.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it was already like he was also so low. And, I mean, we both were, but he was more. I had like maybe 2-3 minutes more than him. So
Did you just sort of feel like you were in cruise control? All the initiative was yours. You're just playing with flow at this point, and
yeah, at this point, like it usually happens when you think you're just losing, and then you get some chance. I mean, you get out of danger, and then you suddenly have and suddenly you see that you can actually take over the game. It's a very pleasant feeling. So I was basically just making moves, and yeah, it quickly went completely out of control for him. And this, I spotted it before, but it was nice to play.
not often we get to sacrifice a queen in a world championship match. Yeah, you're one of the few with that feeling. I will open up the floor now to reporters to ask Gukesh some questions.
For Gukesh, obviously, Michael Rahal from FIDE, Deputy Press Officer. So, Gukesh, according to my database, this was the first time in your life that you played the reversed Blumenfeld gambit, at least according to my database. I did notice that Arjun Erigaisi has had quite a bit of success with this line recently, mostly in blitz games. So, I have a double question, very short. How difficult is it for you to play this type of gambit, which could be a gambit, in such an important game with so much on the line? I don't remember you being much of a gambit player. That would be my first basic question.
I mean, basically, this line, it's obviously very double-edged, but we just thought we had good odds of out-preparing him, and we thought, like, my team did some really amazing work in this line, and I looked at the line. I felt it was very interesting, and the risk-reward ratio was quite nice because I would be surprising him for sure. So, yeah.
It does make sense to ask you then if Arjun is one of the members of your team helping you out with this line or any of the other lines.
I mean, we'll get to know the team soon, I think.
So possibly then.
Sorry?
Possibly then.
We'll see after the match.
We'll see.
My question is, in the context of this match, how significant do you think is this win?
I mean, obviously, this is a very, very important win. Yeah, I mean, we were going head to head for like last seven games, all ended in draws. I missed a couple of chances earlier, so this, especially since this game could have easily gone the other way as well. So, in that, considering that, it's just very, very important game. But there's still three more very important games to go.
Well, Gukesh, you're ahead in the match for the first time, and after all these previous games were getting drawn, were you a bit concerned? How did you feel today? Were you more relieved or happy?
I wouldn't say I was concerned because of the draws. I still thought like there are a few interesting games ahead and anything can happen. So I was just taking one game at a time. And today, during the game, I kind of lost my cool at some point because I achieved exactly what I wanted out of the opening, and then and I just went crazy for some time. But after that, once I realized I'm not losing, and then I realized I have chances, and then I won the game. It's like it's mostly a relief, I would say, because at some point I was just really worried about my position. So obviously a super happy and relieving game.